Severe weather is moving into our area right now, so we are staying on the air with you on this WRAL Weather Alert Day so you and your loved ones can stay safe. Hello, everyone. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. Here's what you need to know, just in case you are tuning in. This isn't a normal broadcast hour for us, but we're here for you. Moore County is under a severe thunderstorm warning until 10:30 this morning, the first warning of the day in our viewing area. Our entire viewing area is under a tornado watch until 1 o'clock this afternoon. And we're hearing our first reports of possible tornado damage to our west. National Weather Service is on the way to survey that damage in Union County outside Charlotte.
Here in our area, we are in for some nasty weather over the next several hours. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is tracking it all for us. And who's seeing the strongest storms right now?
We'll take a look first at where all the warnings are. You can pick out this red line, and out ahead of it, you see the yellow boxes. Those yellow boxes are severe thunderstorm warnings. If we start to see some red boxes pop up, that's going to be tornado warnings. We've had along this line several tornado warnings back to the west, so certainly we would expect to see some of those in our viewing area today, especially as this line gets closer to the triangle. We have a flow of warm air that's going to start to move kind of up the I-95 corridor, and when that line starts to interact with that flow, it's likely to create additional energy in the atmosphere, and that's when we'll have an even better chance of some at least isolated tornadoes. As Renee was saying, right here is Moore County. You can see Moore County, at least the western half of it, is in that box there, that severe thunderstorm warning. What is happening with these is they're just going to continue to move eastward as the line moves eastward. So every county in our viewing area is most likely going to go under a severe thunderstorm warning. We have seen wind damage, especially in the southern counties east of Charlotte, west of Southern Pines. There have been trees down and some power outages. So this storm definitely has a history of producing some severe weather. We'll take those off and loop this. We've definitely been seeing some rain out ahead of this. Sanford seeing some rain, Durham, Raleigh, a few isolated showers. The farther east you go, it's been a little bit drier, but it's this line right here that we're most concerned about. Look up toward Danville. I'm going to show you what's happening up there. That's out of our viewing area, but we're going to zoom in up there and take a look at what looks like it's starting to rotate a little bit. Before we do that, let's talk about when it may arrive closer to the triangle. So Graham is just outside of our viewing area, 10:03. Of course, that's pretty much right now. Siler City, 10:05. Hillsborough, 10:22. Pittsburgh, 10:23. Chapel Hill, 10:30. Durham, 10:37. And that is estimating, of course, that these storms are moving at about 40-45 miles per hour. We take a look at some rotation potential here. Again, this is up here in Virginia, but just wanted to let you know here, when we see green and red bright colors together like that, that's an indication of the potential for some rotation. We're not seeing it anywhere else in this line right now, so what we will see with this, at least in the near future, is the potential for straight line winds. You see, really, we can look all the way along this line, and the bulk of the energy where we're seeing the potential for severe storms is really all up here in North Carolina. How long is this likely to last? Up until around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon is when we'll have the best chance of these storms. We'll roll through Futurecast here and walk this forward. And again, we're looking at the bulk of this beginning to move into our area by 10:30 or so. This is running a little slower than what's actually happening. But again, you can just watch this whole line move right across our area and begin to move out between around 2 and 3 o'clock or so. After that, we may still have some blustery winds and the potential for some scattered showers. We jump on out and take a look at our tornado watch. Again, that does cover the entire viewing area until 1 o'clock this afternoon. So here's what we're looking at. Significant wind damage is possible. The storm system has already produced some wind damage to our west. Possible tornadoes. We've seen tornado warnings, and again, near Charlotte, a possible tornado. The Weather Service folks are going to look at that. Not likely to see any flooding, but it is possible that we could see some small hail. We've seen that with some of the storms as well. Coming up in just a little while, we're going to talk more about what happens when you have a tornado and how to find your safe place. Ken?
What happened now? There we go, traffic center.
Just in, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning for parts of the viewing area. Of course, it was already down there for parts of Moore County. We're going to zoom in here and take a look. So now it's almost all of Moore County, including Carthage, Southern Pines, and then part of Lee County, including Sanford and westward, and then most of Chatham County from Pittsburgh westward towards Siler City. So that's where our new thunderstorm warning is. The heaviest part of that line hasn't arrived there yet, but it's on the back edge of that warning. And so the National Weather Service is doing a fantastic fantastic job, as Chris said a little while ago, of really giving people a lot of lead time to know that this is coming your way. Especially this southern end of the storm, it has produced some severe winds. We've had some wind damage. We've had a little bit of hail with this as well. So just know that we're going to see winds here that are strong enough that they could cause some damage. We're looking at the potential for winds up to 60 miles per hour. We've had some winds up to 40, 45 miles per hour already. Here's a look at, just take all the warnings off, and you can see that line stretching from Virginia all the way down towards South Carolina. Of course, it's a fairly solid line. There are a few areas where it's starting to bow out a little bit. At the moment, when we take a look at the velocity, we don't see any spin in the atmosphere, at least right this very second. But as this moves eastward, we're going to see a flow or a jet coming from almost the tropics, bringing some warm, moist air in. And when this line interacts with that, that's when we could have an even better chance of some tornadoes. So we know that tornado threat is certainly real out there. West of Carthage and Southern Pines, here's that line. Again, it's really moving right through Siler City right now. You're seeing it currently. So hopefully you're taking shelter. You don't have to, treat this necessarily like it's a tornado, but you just need to really be weather aware as that wind comes through. You need to watch out for any trees that may be near your house, and just be very careful about what's happening. This is a look at the big picture, and really all the warnings with this right now are clustered here in North Carolina. Earlier, we had a lot of warnings down in South Carolina and Georgia, and now everything is clustered here. Oops. Hopefully that was that a tornado warning that just popped up?
See anything?
Okay, it could have been. I was looping that, and maybe that was a previous tornado warning, because we had a bunch of them back here to the west across the Triad and Charlotte. All right, we'll take a look at Futurecast and roll this forward just to show you that this whole band is going to cross the viewing area. So everybody is likely to get a severe thunderstorm warning out of this, and there are likely to be at least a few isolated tornadoes that pop up along this line between now and 2:30 or 3 o'clock. And then after that, we should be mostly in the clear, minus a shower or two. This is a look at our tornado watch, which does include the entire viewing area. And of course, tornadoes cause wind damage. The straight line winds will be an issue for us as we get through the day. I'm going to send it over to meteorologist Chris Michaels to talk about what some of the peak gusts have been so far today.
And this is ahead of the line, so the line hasn't even moved through yet. And we've seen peak gusts in Durham, Raleigh, Fayetteville in excess of 40 miles per hour. Rocky Mount, Goldsboro, Oxford, we've seen those gusts about 30 to 40 miles per hour. Now, the line itself has a history of producing damage. I've taken the warnings off for now, but you can see that line, and you can see all those reports of wind damage toward the Triad and also just east of Cabarrus County there in the western half of the state. One thing you should know is that it doesn't matter if it's coming straight on or spinning. If the wind is 60, 70 miles per hour, it's going to do damage. But if you look toward the damaged swath, if it fans out that straight line, if it's a little more sporadic, it's tornadic. So if you have any reports, we want to see them. WRAL.com/report it. And just one last thing, Elizabeth, you were talking about the jet bringing in some warmer air. And one of the things that we can see in Goldsboro and Fayetteville is that we're nearing 70 degrees, whereas Raleigh's in the mid-60s. Ditto for Sanford. So the concern is that moves farther to the east, this could pick up even a little more steam.
Thanks, Chris. And of course, even with that additional warmth, the wind damage, just the straight line winds, potential will increase, but it also increases our potential for tornadoes. And of course, we've already had some tornado warnings and a possible tornado near Charlotte. So we'll, of course, be watching that really carefully, especially as the line crosses the triangle and then moves into our eastern counties. Flooding's not likely. We're going to see anywhere from maybe an inch to an inch and a half of rain out of this. That's going to be the benefit of this whole thing, is we definitely needed the rain. Take the severe thunderstorm warnings seriously today. Keep the TV on. Don't plan on watching this on your phone. We're here. We're going to walk you through. We can show you exactly where the storm is and when it will get to you and what you should do. If you can't turn on the TV, stream us on WRAL News Plus. It'll be the same thing that you see right here on the broadcast there on News Plus. Or if you're driving, 101.5 HD3 on the road. If there is a tornado warning that's issued, you want to get to your basement if you have one. And if you don't, that's okay. First floor of your house, interior room that doesn't have windows. So a bathroom or a closet is going to be the safest place to be. Outside of this big line coming through, we're going to see windy conditions. Chris just showed us what the winds have already been so far. We have that wind advisory for gusts at about 40 to 50 miles per hour. Currently, we're gusting to 38 in Fayetteville, 34 in Durham, 36 in Clinton, 32 in Rocky Mount. So those winds really picking up out ahead of this line. The strongest wind gusts, of course, will be with the front itself. And then once the front moves by, we'll see our winds gradually starting to taper off. This is a look at Pinehurst. Pinehurst. Pinehurst is under that severe thunderstorm warning right now. Lots of rain with this, of course, and the potential for windy conditions. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on it and follow this. Again, I said this a few minutes ago, but every county in our viewing area is likely to go under a severe thunderstorm warning. So stick with us through the morning.